All right. Perfect, everybody. Let me go ahead and share this out a couple of times, and then we will go from there. Give me 1 second, and then I'm going to start letting people in. All right, I've already got a couple in the Zoom, so we'll get started shortly. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me share this stuff out. I am not great with Zoom. I haven't really used it much besides for the podcast, but let me share this on Twitter. All right, let's see. All right, perfect. All right, let's see here. I'll wait till a few more people join. Let's give it a little bit of time. Let me get everybody in here. Then we can figure out how we can kind of make this work and make it work well. So let's see. I got a few people waiting already. And then we are going to have a fun little off-season conversation. So I want to get as many people as possible. I went from Bryce Harper to Wolverine. All right. I could get with it. All right. So I am going to go ahead and get started. Allow you guys to join as much as possible. We got a lot of people here. So let's see if this is going to work. Okay. There we go. All right. Everybody, welcome. So let's see if this is going to work. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Let's see. Yep, I can.
All right. Perfect. So let's, I am new to this thing, so I'm not great with Zoom. So hopefully this works well. But let's give it a little more. Got more people joining. All right. Let's let good old Sal in. All right. Let's see if that is working. Got a couple of Anthony's in here. Anthony's.
It's like Christmas at my family's house.
All right. Got a lot of Anthony's. Got some Sal's. I mean, come on. It's Columbus Day. All right. Let's see. Hold on. All right. Let me move this down a little bit. All right. So we obviously got a lot of people in the chat still. All right. So really, I don't know if I can see everybody. Sal, are you on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good old Sally boy. All right. Excellent. So I really don't care if nobody, if you don't want to be on the camera, it's all good, but we'll start. So basically what this is, guys, it's none of us have any information right now on what the Yankees are planning on doing, what they're looking to do. This is basically just a fun conversation, to be honest. As Yankee fans, what is going on? What is wrong? What needs to be changed? It's funny because, and feel free to talk whenever you guys want. It's funny because after the season ended, one of the main things I talked about pretty quickly, and I'll keep letting people in as you guys join, was philosophy. And I feel like that's a big thing that needs to change on this club is philosophy. So I'll open it up to whoever wants to go first and just talk about what you think is wrong, what needs to change. I am one, and I'll say it right now because I know a lot of people will probably disagree. I think the Yankees need a change with leadership. I think Brian Cashman, it's a good time. I think it's time that maybe there's a change made there and they go from there. But please, guys, whoever wants to start first, go ahead and start going.
Nah, I agree. Cashman should be gone. I mean, I don't think it'll happen because he's pretty much a made man with them. But just like the fact that he always punts the trade deadline. Now every year he goes into like a rickety rotation of 3 guys, and then a depleted pen and the same kind of lineup every year that always melts in the playoffs. It's not diversified. It's home run or bust. It's beat up on the Toronto's 4 and 5 starters, then absolutely melt in front of good playoff pitching. It's every single year. And they've one lefty in the lineup and half of Hicks.
Yep. I agree with that. Does everybody kind of feel the same way about Cashman? I think people think he should go, but nobody thinks he actually will. Is that how kind of everybody else feels?
Not diversified.
Yeah.
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 Is anybody in total support of keeping him around? Do they feel like that's not the major issue or part of the problem?
Good playoff pitch.
Is everybody kind of
I don't know. It's hard.
There's like 30 people.
nobody thinks he actually how kind of everybody else feels? Make sure you guys have it on mute so you don't hear my voice also in the background. Sal, let's hear a little bit from you, my friend, because I know you were talking to me the other day about some moves that you think needs to be made. What do you see the Yankees doing?
I mean, I kind of see them fielding calls for Sanchez.
Okay.
I mean, just looking to see what they could get.
Sal, let's hear a little bit from you, my friend, because I know you were talking to me the other day. Guys, try to mute the YouTube so it doesn't pick up the other feed also for the people that are in here, because it's hard to hear both of them. One of the things I do want to bring up that I think it might have been the Daily News or somebody else talked about this today, but one of the problems or one of the ways of fixing the Yankees that some people have brought up, I think somebody brought this up to me the other day also, is the possibility of selling high on Voigt, where you can then fix your infield around a little bit, have LeMahieu at first base, get Glaber back at second, and then move there. What do you guys think about that?
Definitely.
Definitely.
It depends who we
I
get
mean,
for
I just
him.
heard that today. And I don't know.
I think the big thing there is Glaber is probably not a championship shortstop.
And that's obviously
There's
mainly
a couple ways you can go about that, but that's the problem we got to fix with if you move Voigt.
right. So let's do this to make this easier. I'm going to do a round the table. So everybody knows, when it's your time, you can go ahead and chat. It's easier instead of talking over each other. Anthony, I'm going to start with you. Anthony, I know you seem like you were nodding your head when it talked about trading Voigt. What is your opinion of it?
I think it opens up a lot of stuff. I think he's got the foot thing. He could be a one-hit wonder. He's another home run or bust guy, and I don't think you're getting rid of, obviously not Stanton. I think they're in bed with Judge, even though I have my opinions on him. So I think you move Voigt, you sell high on him after the league-leading homers, get some pitching back, whether that's a starter or a reliever. It lets you move DJ to first. I assume he's an automatic sign. They're not letting him go. Lets you move Glaber back to his more natural second base where he's not going to make 100 errors. And then you can go with a cheap option like a Galvis. You can bring Didi back. You can go crazy and go get Lindor. It just opens things where you can get some more balance and defense on the team.
Yeah, I agree. And that was something when it first got brought up to me, I was like, yeah, that's not happening at all. That's never going to happen. But then if you really look at this lineup and think about certain moves the Yankees can make, there's not a lot of spots where you can say, where can they move guys around and who can maybe fit in a little bit. Now, I do want to get everybody else's opinion on Voigt, so I'll stop there because I was going to go into another player who I think should be moved. But Andrew, let's hear what you think about Voigt.
I mean, if you're going to sell high. I don't think you have to move Voigt. He impressed the shit out of me this year. But I think something's got to go with the infield. I don't think Glaber's a championship guy. Glaber's my favorite player. I don't think he's a championship shortstop. The hesitation I have, I don't want to trade Glaber at all. He gets you a bigger return than Voigt. And so it's up to the powers that be. Who do they want to move and what are they going to bring in? I would probably prefer to move Voigt because I think DJ has huge value at first. Being able to bat your first baseman lead off and have that kind of contact bat seems pretty big to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Sal, let's hear what you got to say.
Well, I kind of just heard like about it today, so I mean, I would be like, I don't know, I would be split because like Voice, like he's one of my favorite players because like he's just like, I don't know, he's just like a team guy,
Right.
and like,
Well, he was definitely a big part of the club this year, and one of the guys that
Yeah.
seems like they were okay with playing through injury, which meant a lot.
yeah.
Oliver, are you on? Because I see your mic is muted, but are you on? Can you talk?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. What do you think about a
It
possibility
really
moving
depends
Voigt?
it depends what you get back for him and who you can put at shortstop when Glaber moves over.
Okay, I agree.
If you
Anthony
get a good
G.
player, then do it definitely.
Right. Anthony G. Anything.
I mean, I wouldn't do it personally. No, unless you trade him, you will get something that's really, really good. But then if you put him at first base, then you move DJ to first, and your defense is not gonna be as good as second base. Even if you move Glaber to second, that's what I think.
Okay. Rafi, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my friend. What do you think about the Yankees possibly moving Luke Voigt?
No, I don't like it because I feel like you're going to create a scenario where you're creating one hole to fill another. So
Okay.
I feel like we still want the lineup to be deep, top to bottom. So I feel like if you get another reliever out of Voigt, but then you lose the bat, then our lineup isn't as deep.
Right. Understandable. I got 4 more people I'm about to admit, so let's see how this works. Let me get a few more guys in here. All right. Let's see. Okay. So Justin, I know you are on. You actually talked the other day about moving Voigt. What is your opinion of it?
Trade everyone.
I mean, you can trade Voigt. You can move him. It would sell high on him. Obviously, with the 22 homers that he hit, obviously short season, but it would be selling high on a guy that, yes, is Yankee fans. No, don't move him. No, you can't move him. Who would play first then? You're going to hear this because it's Hal running the team. He's going to want under that 210 luxury tax. It's going to be, oh, Voigt fell out of our budget. I know he's ARB eligible, but he fell out of our budget. There's going to be a lot of budgeting. They're going to say, oh, we'll find a cheaper first baseman and then sell Voigt high.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Mike. Luke Voigt, possibility of being dealt.
What Justin said makes sense. I wouldn't, but I oh damn, we got the same bottle.
There it goes.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
And the flag in the background. I love it.
No, I definitely wouldn't though, but I get it though. Get it.
All right. I'm in the same boat. I kind of get it. Hey, Jeff, let's hear what you got to say. Think you're muted, Jeff. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We got you, man. Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, I think it's tricky because of what you saw at short from Glaber this year. It's like I don't know if he can play short going forward. Voigt, would I move him? Move DJ to first? Glaber to second. Maybe get Didi back, like I heard before. I mean, I'm not against it, but I'm not like he's under contract for a little while now. So if I'm trading Voigt, I'm making sure I'm getting a haul back. Like I'm not doing it just to do it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it would really depend on what's out there, what's being offered for him. So I'd be open to it.
Okay. Yanks Italia, my good friend Sal. Let us know what you think.
What's going on, guys? I'm not in favor of trading Voigt. I could see the point in trading him. But I mean, we picked him up for nothing. We traded Chasen Shreve and Giovanni Gallegos, who turned out to be good, but you're not paying the guy. And he's really the only warrior we have on this team. We saw what he did this year with whatever his foot injury was. He's the only guy we have on the team that's not a pussy. Let's be honest. And I don't see. I mean, I understand you can get a coup for him, but can we really trust Cashman at this point to really get what we truly need? I mean, I'm still waiting for that. I mean, we finally got our ace, but where's our 1A? I don't trust him to get like a 1A pitcher to compete with, the likes of the Dodgers and now the Rays. And, we seem to been at the same standstill since 2009, where we can't get the right pieces. We have a nice core, and I don't see why we'd trade our true warrior away. He was our leader this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with what you said. It's funny because I heard about this just a couple of days ago. It was brought to my attention. Like, do you think this is a good idea? And immediately I was like, no. There's no way you trade Luke Voigt, not after this year, what he did. And then when it got brought up to me of the reason why you could consider it, I was like, that I understand. But I don't know how smart it is. And I agree with what Sal just said. How much could I trust Cashman with trading for a starting pitcher? He hasn't done well with this. So how comfortable am I to say, look, you got a Luke Voigt. You made a hell of a trade. Yes. Good job, Cash. Great deal. But how comfortable am I saying, dangle this guy out there and you're going to bring back somebody that's going to fit in behind a guy like a Cole, a Severino type, maybe that's ready to kind of jump in immediately? I don't think that's a smart move. Now, when it talks about trading somebody in the starting 9, some of you probably know who I'm talking about already because I mentioned it to some of you already. I am 150% ready to move the very tradable contract of Aaron Hicks. I don't know if anybody agrees with that, but I am 150% ready to move Aaron Hicks. You can open up center field. You could open up different options in center, whether it's you get Tauchman more time, you make a deal for somebody else, and try to figure that out. But I think it's time for Aaron Hicks to move. I don't like the way he kind of fits in the lineup. I get it. You know, somebody said the other day he walks a lot. Okay, I understand that, but I just feel that contract is so movable, $10 million a year. Anybody would take him. You could probably get a couple of good players for him. I think it'll be a smart move for the Yankees to make. So, Anthony, I'm going to start with you. What do you think?
Honestly, I didn't think of it because usually I feel like when Cashman has like those guys that he's in love with, he never moves them, and Hicks has been one of those guys. But I mean, now that you're bringing it up, it makes a ton of sense. I mean, I'm not really a fan of his high OBP, but 225 average all the time. Had a great playoffs, obviously. I'm totally good at what he did there, but there is a lot of things you could do with it. I mean, because they're going to bring Gardner back in one way or another. They can't resist. So you can play him in left center a little bit. You have Dominguez coming up whenever, so you could open that up. I know Hicks had like a 7-year deal, so clear that up. You could make a move and bring another guy in. It kind of just opens up more things. I mean, my guy I want's Brantley. I think he's just what this lineup needs.
Can I ask you real quick about Brantley? Because this has been brought up to me a lot. What type of deal would the Yankees offer Brantley? What is he? I think he's 34 already.
Probably a 2-year deal or one with an option for a second, like a higher version of what Gardner gets now, probably just for more money. But I think he's the kind of guy that needs a lefty bat. He gets on a ton. He has a high average, and you sprinkle him in there, break up the righties. He should bat second and move Judge back to third, perhaps. There's a lot of things you could do there. Him and LeMahieu back to back is dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah, that I definitely agree with. Justin, what do you think about Hicks being moved?
I would love Hicks being moved because that opens up that $10 million that you could go to a Bauer, that you could go, which I don't think they're going to go Bauer. I do not trust Cashman at all. Does anybody trust Cashman anymore? He's a washed-up GM. Yes, you can say, oh, he won 5 rings. Yeah, that was him being carried by George Steinbrenner and others in the office. When he has full reign, we're right now 0-11.
Yeah, well, let me say this too real quick when it comes to Cashman. I'm not saying the guy's a bad GM at all. I don't think he is. I don't think Brian Cash is a bad general manager. I don't. What I feel like is that there has been a philosophy change in the Yankees, and I do think it has a lot to do with Brian Cashman and the way they're going about their business. A-Rod said it great. When Alex Rodriguez said, this is what happens when the front office gets involved with the field of play, these type of things happen where when bad decisions are made that normal baseball people wouldn't do. But that's a whole nother story. We'll get more to Cashman soon. Jeff, let me hear what you think. Go ahead.
Wait, can I add something? Can the Yankees stop going for superstars? It hasn't worked the past 11 years. I know Bauer's out there. The superstars you get is in the rotation. Can we go for like a guy with stolen bases, a guy that has this thing called speed, has this thing called stealing bases, contact, and young? Can we go for the younger guys, the under the radar? That's where Cashman lies. That's where everybody says Cash God, Cat, Ninja Cash.
Right.
Start
Jeff,
going for like the younger tier guys.
All right, Jeff, what do you think about Hicks being moved?
Hicks, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I like Hicks, but I think, like you said, somebody would take that friendly contract and see what we get back. I mean, at that point, I guess Talkman would have to get most of the reps, or if that happened, we'd have to bring Gardner back another year or something like that. But I think I hate him in the 3 spot for sure. I would much rather have him at the 2 spot. I know analytic wise, like you got to put your best player second, but for a guy that like his main thing offensively is just walking, like I would rather have him DJ Hicks and then our run producers right after them. That's what I would do. But as far as moving him, yeah, I'd be open to it.
Okay, Yanks Italia, my good friend Sal, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm all on board with getting rid of Hicks. I've never been a fan of Hicks. I understand he's one of our only switch hitters, and he's cheap, but I just don't like his at-bats. There's nothing special to him about him to me. I wouldn't mind letting him go. Maybe I understand this guy's a righty, but I would like to have Starlin Marte maybe as a 1-year placeholder. Maybe you could sign him a little longer until Jason Dominguez is ready. But Aaron Hicks, no way. I do want a lefty bat, and I'm on board with Brantley. Brantley is the guy I really want. I wanted him a couple of years back. You add him with LeMahieu. You and I spoke the other day about Whit Merrifield being in there too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the philosophy I want. I want station-to-station baseball, no more home runs. I don't care about, like he said, the OBP and 225 average. Baseball was average home runs and RBIs. I don't care about this analytics garbage. It's ruining the game.
All right, you're going to get a round of applause from me real quick. Yes, I agree.
It's ruining the Yankees. Cashman brought this to the team, but I understand all 30 teams are going to this now. But it's truly ruining the game. And look at the Nationals last year. They were the least analytically sound team. They started, I think it was 11-39, and they went on to win the championship. We won 27 titles without analytics, and we've only won 1 in the last 20 years where analytics has been involved. So what does that tell you? Enough's enough.
Yeah, definitely agree. Other Sal, what do you think?
Yeah, I would be willing to move him. Well, I mean, like, why do we even give him the 7 years anyway?
Right. No, I agree. I think that, and the contract is so movable. That's what kind of made that whole deal make sense. Andrew, what do you think?
I think you move him. He's not a guy you have to move, but I'm pretty neutral on it. Like Voigt, you don't have to trade these guys, but I think he would probably open some more things up that would improve us more.
Right. Anthony G.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they moved him. I was never a fan. Like when they signed the extension, I wasn't really a fan. I felt like he hadn't proved much when he was in New York. So I wouldn't mind if they moved him. Or maybe that's why they signed, like you said, that's why they signed to such a cheap deal. Or maybe in the future they could move him. Or, like I would want Brantley as well. Or, yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Okay, Mike, what do you think?
I like what Anthony was saying before. I let him like, it's one of Cash's guys. I think there's no shot this guy moves, especially because of his contract. I want him out of the 3-hole, like with all of my heart. I just want him not batting third. I swear, that's all I care about. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I don't think Cash would do that. I don't think he would get rid of him.
Yeah, I can see that also. That's the one thing that a lot of people say when it comes to Hicks is that he's one of those Cashman guys that he's not going to likely be moved. Got a few more people waiting to join, so let me get to everybody else. And Nick, are you on?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, what do you think about Hicks?
I don't mind him. Like other people said, opens up more options, to pitching and all of that. But, I would definitely look to trade him. But another thing I also wanted to mention is that, I think it was Justin that said about, going for the superstars. The majority of the superstars nowadays they're sluggers, they're going, they're hitting home runs, all of that. I think we need players like the DJ LeMahieu's of the world, guys that could get on base consistently, hit for average, home runs are good. You can have 1 or 2 sluggers in the lineup, there and there. But I think the baseball, it's kind of about is like, getting on base, driving in runs. And also, we need starting pitching. And I think we just need better quality pitchers instead of just, Garrett Cole and, Severino will be coming back next year. We just need more depth at the starting, pitching role. So, and I think that's what can potentially get us to another championship down the line. So, but and that's also why I'm thinking of, if I was Ryan Cashman, maybe I would look to trade Aaron Judge, because he's always getting injured during the season and he can never play a full season. So, maybe trade him, get some guys back, and that can open up a position for Clint Frazier to play in the starting role for the team. So I don't think that would be a bad idea either. So, but there's a lot of options that the Yankees could do, but
yeah,
again, I'm not
Nick is looking to start a fight in here. I see. Hey, Ruben, I know you just got in here, so let's hear what you got to say about Aaron Hicks, and then we'll move on to another topic.
Yeah, man, I was pretty sour with Hicks starting off the year, but he got hot at the end, so I was kind of like warming up to him again. But my thing with him is more just that he's too inconsistent and he's not on the field all the time. And we already got enough stars that get injured a little too often.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be opposed to moving him. But I think somebody was just saying about the whole analytics thing. I do think that they need to start looking at the Texas model, where in Texas they actually sorry guys, I have the baby here.
You're fine, no worries, man.
1 second here. All right, little guy, come on. So I think they need to look at the Texas model, where basically they let them pitch 105, 110 pitches.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these starters aren't developing because they don't let them go that third ground. They're not developing at all. So you're looking at like Lance Lynn became a freaking stud in Texas, but that's because he throws 105 pitches minimum. So like if you actually let Tanaka go deep, Tanaka is a perfectionist. He can't give you 200 innings, but you got to let him give you 200 innings.
Right.
Like,
I
pitchers
agree.
They're not used to the stamina.
I agree 100%. I think a lot of that does have to do with how these guys are learning in the minor leagues and coming up. So regarding the offense, and I'll go around again with everybody, but I think we all probably agree. The Yankees need another DJ LeMahieu type in that lineup, a guy that puts the ball in play, doesn't strike out a lot, puts the ball in play is the main thing. Does everybody agree with that? Nick, I'll start with you.
100%. We can, especially in the playoffs, we're striking out in key situations. We couldn't even get the timely hitting that we needed to, again, drive in the runs to take, take the lead. We had a few opportunities against the Rays where we could have taken the lead and possibly won the game, but like I said, it's just so frustrating. We just keep striking out in just key situations, and it was if we had like guys like DJ LeMahieu up there, I don't know, man, we could potentially be in the championship series right now. So the game could turn around in just one swing of the bat, and and that's basically, we need guys like that,
right? And I agree on that. My whole thing is they need to get somebody else in that lineup. So Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it obviously showed that we need guys that put the ball in play and play not necessarily small ball, but move runners over. I mean, it was pretty embarrassing almost how much Tampa took advantage of bad strike zones, and we just sat there thinking the umpires would get better overnight. And it's not their fault we lost, but our approach just went to shit after the first 3 games of the playoffs. Yeah. And when they're throwing balls, when they're getting breaking balls low or on the outside corner, we're not going to hit those for home runs. It just ruined our approach, I thought.
100%. Jeff, what do you think?
So my problem is, I do agree that we need more players like DJ, that type of player. My problem with analytics is I think over the course of 162, they're going to average out, and the numbers will play out. But in a 7-game series, in a 5-game series, 3-game series, like it's almost a different game. Like it. So I guess my answer is, I would like to see more players like that. But I think it's more of an organizational thing where it's like we don't. It's like we not that we don't look for that type of guy, but it's almost like we don't play that way. We just even in the playoffs, we're still waiting around, playing the same game, trying to hit home runs. And as far as I can remember, I'm 31. Like the formula to win in October is pitching, defense, and timely hitting. And it's like we're not good at that at all.
Yep, 100%. Justin, what do you think?
Okay, I know I'm gonna get hated for this, but I don't think they're gonna sign.
You get hated for this? Hold on. Hold on a second.
Here comes a trade.
Who we traded here?
Yeah.
Who we traded?
Okay,
let's hit a trade.
Anybody?
I won't bring DJ LeMahieu back, and then probably trade Voigt and probably trade Cole also.
But actually, wait, hold up. I am going to trade for somebody.
There we go.
He's younger. Doesn't have any power, which the Yankees could use a guy that has no power and puts the ball in play and does not strike out. Yes, he's young. Yes, he's on the Royals. It's Nikki Lopez. I know some of Yankee fans never heard of him. I get it. But this dude has a good on base, good slugging, no power, which somehow the slugging is good, but does not strike out. His most strikeouts in his career is literally 52 and 517 at-bats in the minor leagues. We need that, where he doesn't strike out that much. He steals bases. His most is 30 or 24. 24 stolen bases. We need a guy like that. That's why a team like the Rays beat us. That's why a team like the Nationals won the World Series last year. It's because they mix power with small ball. You have that mix. Yankees need that mix back.
Let me and this is a little pushback towards what you're saying. And the Yankees, I'm actually very familiar with Nikki Lopez. He was actually a top prospect for years, but he's also kind of panned the same way that Tyler Wade is panned. There's not a major difference. They're both very good defenders, and they're not good hitters at all. They're terrible hitters. So if that was the case, instead of dealing anybody, you might as well just throw Wade at short. But anyway, that's getting way off topic. So let me go to NYY Yanks Italia. What do you think, my friend Sal?
Yeah, no, I definitely want more contact hitters. We spoke about it the other day. Like I said earlier, I want, I would love to have a Whit Merrifield. Obviously you have to make some movement to get him in there, but we need another DJ LeMahieu. But with that, we need a philosophy change because we are built on power. But I was looking earlier. If you go looking back at the 2004 New York Yankees, guys like Gary Sheffield, Hideki Matsui, they all managed to hit around 30 homers, but they struck out at about 100 strikeouts or less and still managed to have an OBP of 360 or higher and had a decent batting average. It's all about a philosophy change. You got to get rid of this launch angle and make guys believe in driving in a run. A single is okay. The walk is still okay. A double is okay. It's just as effective as hitting a three-run home run. The home run is not as sexy as it used to be. When we grew up in the 90s, a home run was something special. Now everybody and their mother can hit 30 home runs.
I tell you what, man.
Sal,
you are bringing sexy back in his chat.
Model.
Model, my friend, yes. All right, Mike, what do you think?
If it were up to me, there'd be nine guys batting three sitting in my lineup. I do think we can use more, and I know this isn't the type. I just feel like starting pitching is they've been killing us for like last decade, and I just think that's a bigger problem than a guy striking. To me,
I agree.
I see it.
Right, Ruben, what do you think?
Me, I think Whit Merrifield of the Royals would be good. I would be willing to pay a little extra for him in terms of prospects, just because we're already loaded on the major league team. There's no point in hoarding the prospects all this time. Gary Sanchez, his approach is completely gone.
Oh, we're gonna get to him.
Yeah, so-
We are gonna get to him. Don't worry about
okay,
that.
yeah. Because anyways, but I think the approach needs to be changed for the playoffs a little bit. But I do feel that a Whit Merrifield would be like a perfect fit, or someone in Whit Merrifield light, or DJ light, in the sense, because you want them to be high average guys, but also guys that can hit doubles, doubles and singles, and not so much on the home runs. Like I'd rather have a guy that hits only 10 home runs but hits like 45 doubles,
Yep.
Yes.
someone that can throw in the gap.
Yep.
And then
Anthony, sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Anthony, go ahead.
Yeah, let's do it. Honestly, I go back to last year. I was at the Cole Astros game when he was on Houston, and I looked at the scoreboard, and every guy on that team was batting close to 300 and had 30 home runs. That whole approach of, like you guys mentioned earlier, Sheffield, Matsui, those lineups had that. This one, totally different approach. It's home run or strikeout. There's nothing else. So Merrifield would be awesome. I don't know how movable he is, attainable he is right now, but a couple guys I spitballed before. Brantley, I think, is great. Even a Tommy La Stella, he's like a light DJ LeMahieu, who I don't think will cost a ton free agency. Especially if you move Voigt, you could put him at second, leave Gleyber at short. Then you have two guys in the infield that hit for high average that don't cost a ton. Kike Hernandez is running around on the Dodgers. He's a contact hitter. He's won't be on the team. He'll be available. I think if you upgrade the catching position, you might get someone like a James McCann who could hit for a little more average instead of, and that's the thing is where I don't think Judge and Stanton are going anywhere, even though maybe you'd like to. You got to kind of offset those guys with the supporting cast and not being the same kind of guy as them. And Sanchez is just like them, but worse. So Hicks is kind of like them, a little more patience. You just sprinkle a bunch of contact hitters around them so you can afford a Judge strikeout every now and then, or every other at bat in the playoffs. So you can manufacture some runs, hit the ball around, pass the baton, and not be waiting around for walks and waiting for a 3-run homer that never comes. And then, you're in a 1-run game with Chapman ready to blow it. So I need to go out and get one or two of these kind of scrappy, high average on base guys. And hopefully if they have some power, that's great. But like was mentioned before, everyone hits 30 homers. So one of these guys will probably still hit you 20, 25, but also change the makeup of the lineup.
Right. Definitely agree. So I know I probably didn't get to everybody on that one, but I think we have the same understanding when it comes to the Yankees offense. Sal brought up philosophy. I think philosophy is a very, very big part that's going to be overshadowed. I think philosophy means a lot. I definitely think there needs to be a change there. And then, of course, like we said, context. So there is one big name that I want to talk about. And the first thing I want to do is just go around the room and I want a yes or no. That is it. Is Gary Sanchez back next year? I say yes, surprisingly. I say yes. Nick, I'm going to start with you. What do you think? Yes or no?
He probably will be, but if I'm Brian Cashman, I'm looking to get rid of him. I hate him. He's just lazy.
Sal, what do you think?
I say yes. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, wait, what was the question again?
Is Gary Sanchez coming back next year? Yes or no?
I mean, I say yes, but I don't want him to.
Okay.
Exactly.
Other Sal.
God, I hope not, man. He should be gone. I don't trust Cashman to trade him. Cashman would say his value is too low. But, I mean, you got JT Realmuto out there, or even James McCann, or, listen, I'm fine with giving Kyle Higashioka the job, knowing that defense is his first priority, and he can pop some. But, spend the money on pitching and that bullpen. Gary Sanchez is not the answer anymore. We've given him enough of a leash, and he hasn't panned out.
All right. Justin, what do you think? Yes or no?
Yes, but at first base.
Stop it. Can you stop it? Stop it. Not. I love you. I love you. Look, you're in here because I like you.
Oh, man.
You can't just put Stanton or Sanchez at first base. It's not that easy of a position.
I mean,
Anyway.
let's be honest. Okay, hang on. Let's get to everybody else.
All right. Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's back. I think they'll look for offers, but I think his value is too low right now. He probably will get nothing back. He's back, I think.
Okay, Mike, what do you think?
Wait, we're asking if we want him back or is he going to be back?
Is he going to be back?
I'm going to say no. Got benched in the playoffs. That's right.
Okay. Ruben, what do you think?
Yeah, he'll be back, unfortunately.
All right. Anthony, what do you think?
I'm going to say he's not. I think he's going to be the scapegoat in exchange for them not getting rid of Boone or Cashman. They'll throw Garrett in the Wolves, saves money, and he kind of turned into Bird. He can't catch up the fastballs anymore.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think the big telling sign is the playoffs and him sitting out there in those times. So, who do we have? Andrew, what do you think?
No, hopefully. You don't know with Cashman. He should be, but they love him.
Okay, I could definitely see that. Let's see. Who have I? Anthony G, what do you think?
I don't want him back, but I think he probably will be.
Okay,
but I don't like his approach at the plate. I think he kills like all the momentum when we have momentum going for the team. He kills it, and he can't even catch Garrett Cole this year. Like, how are you going to move this guy going forward, and he can't catch Cole behind the plate for so many years?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of real telling signs when it comes to him. First of all, one of the things I brought up when me and Ryan do the podcast early on was I think one of the biggest problems he had is once Garrett Cole said that's enough. Whoa. Once your $325 million pitcher goes, yeah, dude ain't my catcher no more. Look, the offense isn't there. I don't like throwing to him. That's it. I think that was the first nail in the coffin. The second one was when leadership now kind of said, we're going to put Higashioka over you, even when Cole isn't starting. I think that was the other nails in the coffin. I do expect him to be back. And I guess the reason why I personally feel that way is because, one, there's not a ton of salary there now. Two, they would sell extremely low. But I wouldn't be shocked. Put it that way. I wouldn't be shocked. Let me get somebody else is looking to join. So let me add them real quickly. So moving on from Gary Sanchez, because I think everybody has the same type of opinion when it comes to him on either coming back or not coming back. Here's the big key. Let's do this one more time with either staying or going with Masahiro Tanaka. I say Tanaka is coming back. Nick, what do you think?
I want to say he's going. I really do. I just don't see him come back for some reason. I don't know. It's just something telling me he's not.
All right. Anthony G, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back.
Okay. NYY, Yanks Italia, good old Sal. Sal, I'm going to call you Sal 1, if you don't mind. Sal 1.
That's fine. I don't know. I see it going either way. I don't know. I feel like he's starting to show signs of decline. He was supposed to be our big postseason pitcher, and he didn't do it this year. And they've always been waiting. They've been worrisome with that elbow for a while now. I think it depends on what salary he's looking for. I personally would like to replace him with Bauer, but it depends on his price, honestly. Because, we already have Severino coming back from an arm injury. Can we worry about him going in decline with, not knowing what's up with that elbow? I know we've gotten by for 4 years now, but at some point I would think it's going to go.
And the other thing too, I want to bring up about Tanaka. I'm sure a lot of you guys watched the last podcast, but one of the things that it's unbelievable. If you go back to Tanaka's first year, you guys remember how damn legit and good that man was?
Tanaka Tuesday.
It was a big monster.
96, 97, painting the corners, and then even the splitter was even sharper and harder. So he is definitely a different pitcher, and I commend him for doing such a good job while he's had the injury. Sal number 2, go ahead. Tanaka back, yes or no?
I say yes, but maybe we can look at a guy like Kevin Gausman if we don't bring him back.
Okay, Jeff, what do you think? Yes or no?
I say no unless it's an extremely team friendly deal. I have no idea what he's looking to get, but for them to bring him back, it has to be somewhere between 10 and 15. I can't see them really paying him that much.
Yeah, I agree with that. Justin, what do you think? Yes or no?
He's gone.
Gone. Okay. Ruben, what do you think? Yes or no?
I can see it going either way, but I would lean to him coming back. And to your note on how he was throwing 96, 97 in the beginning. This year, he got an uptick on his velocity. He actually hit 94, 95 a couple times this year.
Yep.
So I think that new pitching coach we got maybe worked on him, gave him some workout stuff that he needed to do, and got that arm strength back up. So I think on that note, I think he's not necessarily on decline. It just his ERA always looks pretty bad because they don't let him pitch enough innings.
Yeah, I agree with letting him go a little more, possibly also, and the Yankees babying pitchers a bit. And it's a baseball thing too. Anthony,
Yeah,
what do you
but-
think?
Yeah, I think he's gone. I actually saw a thing online the other day that said his old team in Japan is going to offer him a ton of money to come back. And I just think it's a quick way for Cashman to save some money. Unless I don't think he's going to come back for a 1-year cheap deal. So what's the point? I think he's out.
Yeah, I think the currency conversion was about $25 million a year.
He's not getting that here.
Yeah.
He's not going to get that here, and
No.
and we all know already how popular he is. He is already in Japan as it is. So him going back would be absolutely huge, and I'm sure there'll be tons. And just the base salary is probably just the start. I'm sure he will get endorsements and things of that nature also, so he can make a shitload of money going elsewhere. Who did I not call on? Mike, what do you think?
Thanks for the memories, Tanaka. I think he's out.
Oh, thanks for the memories, Tanaka. He thinks he's out. All right, Christian, you're new on here, my friend. How you doing? And what do you think?
Hey,
Tanaka
P,
back
how
in?
are you?
I am good, my friend.
Hey.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, well, about Tanaka, I like him. I will bring him back for like 10 million a year, maybe a couple 2-year deal. I like him. I mean, he was solid this year, to be honest with you. I like what I saw. In the postseason, he was shaky. But I like him. I would bring him back, to be honest with you. I mean, he was really solid this year. He was like below 4 ERA. I mean, man, there's not too many constant solid arms out there. I mean, that's something that the Yankees lack, like deeply. And you cannot get rid of an arm that is being with you. He knows the organization way up and down. So to bring back a guy that you don't know who's what's gonna give you is kind of, it's risky. So I would bring him back in a cheap deal.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see if the Yankees could bring it back for a little bit of money would be a good idea. Mark,
No
are
Sonny
you
Gray
on?
either.
Right. Are you on, Mark? Calling to Mark. Calling to Mark. Any Mark. All right, Mark, we're going to move on from Mark. So everybody has the same idea here. So what I want to do to kind of, we're not wrapping up yet, but I want to talk about the big starting pitcher out there that everybody knows who it is. Good old Trevor Craziness Bauer.
Bring him.
Nobody's going to wait. They're just going to say, bring him. All right, everybody agrees.
There's already 3 people saying bring him.
He's, I'll tell you right now, and you guys can say I'm wrong when it happens. He's not coming to the Yankees.
No shot.
Nah, it's not.
No shot. No shot.
Way.
Spoiler alert. Don't go, if you got a baseball game, put him on your team. Have fun. It's not happening in reality.
He's not coming. He's not coming. No way. It's not because of Cole. It's not because of Cole. I just think he's using the Yankees to drive his price up, but I don't think he's coming.
It's about the money. It's about the loot. He's not.
Mets.
Let's
And
put
the
it this
Angels
way.
are
Yeah,
desperate
I
for
think
pitching.
Mets.
Mets. Steve Cohen is going to go.
I think Mets. Yeah, for sure. I think Mets.
The thing with Bauer is that he's
Yeah, he's gonna go to
good,
the Mets.
but I don't think the Yankees will go there in terms of the personality. But I personally like him though. Like his YouTube channel, if you follow him, the guy's smart as hell.
Oh, he's
He is. He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
I mean, the guy knows how to recover. He doesn't get hurt. I mean, I don't see how the Yankees wouldn't go for him on a 1-year deal since he only wants 1-year deals. But
That's not going to. Rachel Luba is not going to let him sign a 1-year deal.
well, that's what he said for like 3 years ago. Like he's been saying every single year, I'm going to go year to year as a free agent. He does not want long-term deals, and he wants to start every 4 days, not 5 days. So he's going to go to a team that allows him to do that.
We'll see. He's definitely a character and is going to help somebody out a lot. I don't see the Yankees doing it. Mike, I don't think I heard you in there. What do you think about Bauer?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know what you guys were just talking about on Bauer. I just want somebody. I need someone behind Cole. You know, and I don't trust Sevy. You know, a lot of people do. I don't dislike Sevy, but it's like we really relying on these guys. We do not have a bona fide two. We're gonna keep losing every October with somebody behind Cole.
No,
Yeah.
I think the Yankees gotta get younger. They gotta go with the young hands. Davey, I don't know if Clark is ready, but they gotta have Davey up for sure. They gotta bring her man back somehow.
If Cash counts on Sevy to be a 2 guy for 162 in the playoffs, he should get fired.
Yeah.
I love Sevy,
100%.
but no way.
100%.
After Tommy John surgery, that is a death sentence.
Acquisition.
Anthony, say that again.
So that'll be his typical go-to line when they don't make a deal at the deadline.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like Brian Cashman, doesn't it? Well, we got this guy coming back, and don't forget about Herman. He's coming.
Oh, Luis Severino will be our trade deadline acquisition.
Yeah,
that's gonna
I can totally see that.
Yeah, so if you look at again the overall idea of what the rotation looks like right now, right? You have obviously Cole at top. You got the possibility of again David Garcia back. Tanaka we don't know about. Paxton's not coming back. I don't think anybody needs even.
Nah, and they shouldn't bring him.
Yeah, I don't see Paxton coming back at all. And then from there, you know, Montgomery, I think deserves a shot. I really do. I think he deserves a full year.
Yes.
Down in the order, don't rely on him to be, you know, don't push him. Let him be the fifth starter and go for there. But make up that meat of that roster. The last thing I want to see, and God, I'm almost tired of talking about this year after year, is the depth of the team becoming the actual team. And what I mean by that is the rotation ending up being Cole waiting for Sevy to get back, and then they go with your Garcia and your young guys that should be more in line of depth pieces. Now I do think Davies should be in the rotation, but I do think they still need to go out there and get somebody, whether it's a trade or not. Definitely. So if anybody, I'll go around again and start with each person. Talk about what you want when it comes to the rotation and who you would like to see added. That's not your big free agent. So that's not Bauer. Is there a trade out there you would like to see? Is there an arm out there do you think the Yankees can realistically get to make that team better? So Christian, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I know you said like a trade, but I like a free agent that is out there. Anthony Desclafani from the Cincinnati.
Okay.
He might be a good piece. Solid. He throws around 100. I mean, he might be good for them.
I mean, and he's Italian, so that's always a boost.
For sure.
But
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish, please.
So I got an idea.
We want the remote control because I want to watch TV.
All right, go ahead.
I got an idea. I don't know what you all think. I think Yankees gotta sign Yadier Molina. I like him. His command behind the plate. They need somebody smart behind the plate. Somebody with experience. His work behind the plate. He's a punk. I hate him, but his work behind the plate is top chart. And I think that's something the Yankees need really bad, really desperate. They need a real leader, somebody who knows the flow of the game. When there's a 1-1 game, you know, those kind of things that make the difference, little things, you know, like when the Yankees lost this past weekend, they had Kyle Higashioka. The next inning, when Gary Sanchez enters, the first batter, I don't know, he put a good swing on it, but still, the first batter hits a homer and they go ahead. So, I don't know. I think there's something going on with the Yankees about philosophy, pitch calling, pitch sequencing. I think that might be the problem with the Yankees. I don't know why I see so many pitchers out there thriving in another team right after they left the Yankees. You know, we can see Lynn. He was so with the Yankees, and then he went to Texas, and he was really good. You know, we can see also Gray. Maybe he wasn't the type of player for the Yankees. You know. But still, I think there might be something out there in the Yankees that might be causing the issue with the pitchers. I don't know.
All right, Nick, what do you think with the rotation?
We need more depth. That's really all it comes down to, honestly. You see, past couple World Series champions, they had pitching, maybe not the best. I mean, they had good offense too. That also helps, but it wasn't like they were like top, like they were like best of the best in the league, but they got the depth in pitching, and I think that's what we need to be successful, and that's the difference between winning and losing, and that's just baseball itself, it comes down to pitching. If you don't have
100%.
pitching, it doesn't even matter,
100%. I agree. Sal 1, what do you think?
We definitely need number 2. I'm trying to think of a name off the top of my head. The only guy I could really think of, being that Blake is now the pitching coach, I would try to go for some of that Indians pitching. I like Carrasco. I don't know what he's got left on his contract, and I know he's aging a little bit, but Blake knows the guys. So if you're not going to go out there and there's not much on the market except for Bauer. I like DeSclafani. I would try to see if you can make some kind of deal there to get a Carrasco or something in that kind of year.
Mike, what do you think?
I'm with Sal for sure on that. Just two ifs behind Cole. I just give me a number 2.
Yeah, definitely. Jeff, are you on?
Yeah, definitely with Sal. I like the idea of trading with the Indians, especially because of Matt Blake. I like Carrasco. I'm pretty sure he's on a team-friendly deal too. I'm definitely not counting on anything from Severino and Herman. I know they both showed flashes and potential to be really good, but Sevy's barely pitched in the last 2 years. Herman hasn't pitched at all this year, and it's like I'm for a team that's ready to win now. I'm not counting on those guys. Like, you can't. For me, I'm not just going in there with Cole and then let's hope these guys are good. I don't think we could afford to do that. So yeah, I definitely think we need a number 2, and if we could trade for one of the Indians guys, I'm all for it.
Agree with that. Justin, go ahead.
With the rotation, yes, obviously with Cole, Monty, I think the Yankees should go with a 6-man rotation to keep everybody healthy because everybody keeps getting hurt. So just go with the 6-man, save your bullets for the postseason. Realistically, me dreaming, I want Bauer, but realistically, not happening. Yankees will probably look for a young, like they did with Paxton, a young left-hander that has the upside of being an ace, but isn't really an ace. They'll probably go for like a Kyle Freeland of the Rockies, see if they get away from that pitching hell in Colorado, and then turn him into like our number 2 or number 3 with Severino either being number 2 or number 3, because Colorado pitching hell.
Yes. Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Bauer would be awesome. You just know it's not going to happen. So realistically, I looked at a couple teams. I think the Marlins are a good trade partner because they could use the bats, and we have Gary, we got Miguel Andujar, we could play around some stuff, Talkman, so maybe like a Pablo Lopez there because they have so much pitching about to come up. They're going to have to get rid of some of the pitching they have now, even though it's also young. They're just going to have too much. I think something could line up there, obviously, after the Stanton trade. They definitely have a relationship there with Jeter. Also, the Rockies, I was thinking Herman Marquez, if you can get him, or Freeland, like one of those kind of guys. I just see Cashman going the cheaper route here, and it just makes you really wish they went out and got Corbin 2 years ago because he would have been the perfect 2 behind Cole. And now they're kind of in this hell where they have Cole and then a bunch of crap after and like question marks. So unless there's another team like Kyle Hendricks that some people like some little better pitcher that comes available, I think they have to just kind of scrap it with kind of like how the Evaldi trade was a couple of years back. Go for like a young, high ceiling guy and kind of hope it just pans out. But with Cashman's track record, not expecting much, but they got to do something. You can't go in there with Domingo Germán and Severino in August as your rotation.
I agree. Let's see. Andrew, I don't know. Have you gone yet?
No, I don't have any specifics any names too specific. I'm just tired. I don't want to see Andujar and Frazier rotting on the bench while Jonathan Loaizaga is getting postseason innings. We got to turn some depth into pitching. I don't have it's tough to match up trades and money, and I think we're going to be tight financially. So I don't have any that stand out.
Okay, Anthony G, what do you think?
I mean, I'm not sure who's available on. I mean, I would love Trevor Bauer, but I think that's not going to happen. But need to add somebody who's a legit behind Cole. Everybody behind Cole is a question mark. And
Okay. There's somebody in here, Galaxy S10. I don't know. Can you go?
Yeah, it's Jimmy. What's up, Pete? Thanks for having me.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Well, my little take on the Bauer thing, him and Cole don't like each other, and that dude's a cancer, so we definitely don't need that in a clubhouse. I mean, he's talented as hell, but I think two guys we could do short-term deals with that are veterans, which I know is kind of a bad deal, but Kluber's got a club option. He barely pitched. He was hurt. They might not renew that. You pull him in, and you pull in Jake Arrieta. I know he's up, down, but he doesn't get hurt. Two guys that come in after Cole and give a solid, not pay him a lot, do 1-2 year deals, and go from there.
Okay.
But still, you got Gumby after that, and you got Herman coming back, and hopefully Sevig. So I mean, you got like 6 arms there. Start.
I understand. Anthony, thank you for joining, my friend. I know you got to run. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Of course. Enjoy, guys.
Yo, Pete.
All right. So going back again, now the last thing that I kind of want to do to wrap this up a little bit. We understand the rotation and all. There's so many different options, so it's going to be interesting to see what they actually eventually do. There's 2 things I want to end this with. I think the last one I'll end it with management of the front office. But the last thing, second to last thing, let's say, is the offense. So a lot of people have said Merrifield and things like that. Give me one move you would like to see the Yankees make. Give me some players involved in the deal, whether it's a free agent or it's going to be a trade, that you would like to see the Yankees make, and what that infield and the outfield would then look like next year. So it's a lot, so I'll give you time. But Ruben, I'm going to put you on the spot and start with you first.
Yeah, in terms of like trades, we can always trade Hicks, maybe include Andujar in there and send it over to the Royals. Something that gives them depth, it helps them win, but helps us too.
Is that getting Merrifield?
That's getting Merrifield, yeah.
Merrifield, okay.
Yeah, getting Merrifield, maybe put him in center, maybe put him in left. We find some kind of center fielder. But definitely got to bring Tanaka back. And I would say, like, I know that the Phillies catcher's out there, Remuto. But I would say give the guy we got, Higashioka, give him a shot. The guy got some pop in his bat and calls a great game. I don't think we have anything to lose with actually having him like really beat out Gary for real playing time.
Okay, I agree with basically everything you said there. For me, I like Higashioka, but I'm also not going to immediately just say this is going to be the starting catcher.
Oh, no.
The reason being, I like him maybe partnered with somebody else, but I've been a fan for a long time of a guy like James McCann. I think he's going to be out of the Yankees price range a bit when it comes to money because he's a free agent, had a good year. I think he's going to be a bit out that price range, but if they can get somebody, if Sanchez is gone and that's the route they take, I don't believe he will be, but if that's the route they take, I would like to see maybe another veteran in there with the Higashioka that can also hit a little bit, field a little bit, and kind of, be that Girardi to Posada type idea. And I also don't think he's the future. I don't think Higashioka's by anywhere means the future of Yankees catching. But
he'll just catch Cole.
I got a quick question, Pete, regarding Sanchez.
Go
ahead. Would you trade Sanchez for Pablo Lopez of the Marlins, who throws 97? The Marlins would take him in a heartbeat.
Yes. And let me tell you why. If you can get a halfway decent potential player that can help your team now, for Sanchez, you do it. And look, here's what's going to happen with Gary Sanchez. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. He's going to go somewhere else, and he's going to be good.
Yep.
He's going to hit. And Yankee fans are going to say, oh, look what we did. Some people aren't meant for this club. Sonny Gray.
I agree.
Sonny Gray is a great pitcher. He's not meant for the Yankees. It's as simple as that. This is going to happen to Gary Sanchez. I do think there is potential for Gary Sanchez to be very, very good. I don't think it's going to happen with the Yankees. I hope to God it does. I don't think it's going to happen with the Yankees. So, Christian, let me get to you.
I think the focus on offseason should be defense, definitely. They were last or top bottom on defense.
25th.
I love Gleyber. I mean, he's my boy, but defensively, he cannot be the shortstop. Long term, it's not gonna work out. So they gotta find a way to keep it in the team. So I would try to find Alberto Mondesi from the Royals. Maybe this guy from the D-backs, Kettle Martell, if they can get him somehow. There's also a pitcher from Arizona. His name is Zach Gallen.
Zach Gallen.
Gallen, yep.
I mean, if they can get him, he's really good. And lastly, like I told you, Yadier Molina, catcher. I mean, I think he would be amazing for the Yankees, for the pitching staff and the young pitching staff. You know, that's my opinion.
If he doesn't retire, that actually you could kind of see where that could actually make a little bit of sense for the Yankees when it comes to just the idea of leadership and catching a young staff. All right, everybody, buckle up. Justin, go ahead. I give you the floor.
For catching, I want a young, high potential guy. I don't want to go with another superstar because we already have. Because another superstar means another high strikeout, another homer, nothing guy, blah, 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 same old repetitive bullshit. We've been going with, oh, look, he hit a homer. Oh, yeah, everybody in the freaking lineup can do that. Great. Congratulations. But I've been researching a couple guys, and obviously they're young. They're good defense. Yes, this thing called defense is good in baseball. I know, shocking. Us Yankee fans wouldn't know that for the past couple of years. But the guy I looked up and the guy I really like is Francisco the Orioles. A left-handed bat would fit. Obviously, he doesn't have speed. He wouldn't be hitting in the bottom of the order. But I think he would be what the Yankees thought Greg Bird would be, a nice left-handed bat to put in the middle of Stanton and Judge to just split up power, contact, power to go with the Yankees thought Greg Bird would be. And everybody and their mother thought Greg Bird would be power, contact, and then power. But and Cisco could learn a lot from Higashioka defensively because Higashioka is not young. He's 30. And I do not want him catching anybody else besides Cole. Him and Cole work together. I want to keep that magic with them. I'm very superstitious. I want Cole and Higgy. That's it. You two do not touch anybody else.
All right, perfect. Mike, what do you think?
I just back DJ. They can do whatever they want after that.
I think we all have the same idea. Get DJ back and then start the off season. Start the off season after you resign him. Resign him now. Go from there. Yeah. Sal, number one. Let's hear what you got to say.
Yeah, definitely re-sign DJ. Honestly, I would lock up Gleyber now while he's young, like Ronald Acuna with the Braves. And then I would like to see. I'm on board with Pablo Lopez. I would love to see if they would take Sanchez and Hicks, and maybe throw in our extra pieces, Andujar,
maybe Sandy Alcantara,
and Alcantara would be nice.
I don't think they're gonna deal him.
If we could get Lopez, and like I said earlier, I would like to get Starlin Marte. But also on the flip side, I would love to get Whit Merrifield and maybe a package even for 1 year of Salvi Perez to be the Jorge Posada to Higashioka. And we do have Austin Wells coming, hopefully in the next couple of years, who's supposed to be a legit bat, lefty. The problem I find with this team is that we have a $240 million payroll, and there seems to be a logjam everywhere where we can't figure out how to get rid of somebody, whether it's because of the contract. We have Judge and Stanton, who are practically the same player. One guy that we're never going to get rid of. And I just want more flexibility on this team. And we have all that depth and young talent that, if they're never going to get any playing time, you might as well use them to either entice a team to take a contract or attach somebody that's not working out for you, like Sanchez. And even if it means bringing in Salvi for 1 year to tutor a Higashioka or whoever else, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I like it. I like it. Jimmy, what do you think?
I don't know about you guys, but that catcher for the Rays is ripping it up right now. He's a free agent, Zeno, and he's not probably going to cost that much money.
Well, I think he has an option for like $4 or $5 million only.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Dude,
Yeah, but he's another home run or nothing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, I don't know what Talkman's got left on his thing, and Gardner's gone. Maybe go out and you sign Jackie Bradley Jr. to a short term so that outfield gets a little faster. Because, Hicks, that arm looked like shit to me. I know he just had surgery, but every throw he had was a lob into the infield every fucking game. So, I don't know. That's
it's funny because somebody else brought up Jackie Bradley Jr. to me, and the only way I was like, if that would only make sense if you bring a guy like Kevin Long back as the hitting coach, because Kevin Long did something with lefties. Whatever it was with lefty bats, he did something extremely good with them to get their hands quicker on the inside of the plate.
Remember with Granderson?
Yes. Granderson, he did something. He did something with him. Whatever drills he was doing, it really worked out well. That's the only way I might consider something like that. It also depends on what you would get back for Aaron Hicks. Sal,
Right.
number 2, what do you think?
I would maybe trade Clint and maybe Ottavina to like Arizona for like maybe a pitcher.
No one's going to take Ottavino.
You would give up Frazier?
I mean,
there's no wrong answers here. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. I just want to know what would be the idea behind giving Frazier away.
I mean, it wouldn't have to be like Frazier, maybe another like player, but just to like, I don't know, just get like another pitcher behind Cole. That's
Okay.
all.
Andrew, what do you think?
I think there's a lot of ways to go. I love Witt. Witt seems like the perfect fit. I do think it's slightly worth overpaying a little bit to get the right guy like Witt that's versatile, contact, that kind of thing. You're not going to give up something huge for him, but a couple pieces, it's worth overpaying to get the right guy when we have a surplus. The good thing is I think we got a lot of different ways to go, and that's where I do trust Cashman. I just wish he'd get the hell out of the games.
Yeah,
that's going to be the next thing I'm going to get to, but I think everybody has the same idea. Go ahead and finish.
No, I just that's where I trust him because money is going to be a factor. How much these prospects, how much they believe in him versus what other teams' perceived value of him is. That's where I think he does do good work for the most part. And so, I can say Witt, I can say a good trade with the Marlins. There's different ways to go. And we have, it seems like 28 or 9 people competing for 26 spots, and we can make something come out of that.
All right, perfect. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as catching, I'm kind of like, I have no problem moving on from Gary, but I'm not ready to give the job to Higgy just yet. As far as the rest of the infield, I'm kind of with you when you said like at the first time, what? I'm kind of with you, Pete, when you said the first time you heard about trading Voigt, you were like, what the hell? And that's crazy. But the more I think about it now is if Voigt can bring us back like a solid, top of the rotation guy to put behind Cole, I think I would do it. I would do it. Put DJ at first, Gleyber at second, and then maybe have like a Didi reunion. I guess bottom line is, as long as we get a solid 2 to put behind Cole, I'm happy. I don't care what else we do because I feel like nothing else is going to matter unless we can solidify the rotation.
Yeah, Jeff, I agree 100%. And trust me, when I first heard about even the idea of dealing Voigt, I was like, oh, come on, hell no. It doesn't make no damn sense whatsoever. But it's true. Now, if you're not looking at it as a fan, you're looking at it as, let me be a general manager for a second and put together a club where you kind of have a puzzle and put together the pieces. If you look at it on what would make the most sense when it comes to a return and when it also comes to the product you're putting on the field, the return would have to be great. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's not making nothing. He's making Ugats right now. Then you go ahead and
he's what going to make like what $3-4 million next year?
He's not going to make a lot at all. So any team is willing to take that. And as the Yankees, you could say, look, if somebody wants this guy, I'm not saying you just say he's available, you go get him. But you could put out those feelers and go, if you're willing to surrender a top flight starting pitcher, we'll have a conversation. And I do think that's something the Yankees should look at. Now, I'm a huge Luke Voigt fan. Like Sal said, he's the only guy that didn't pussy out much this year at all. I mean, the guy was playing obviously with a painful foot. His foot was in pain, and he played, and he was great. He was productive. So I think everybody kind of has the same idea on that one. On maybe you look at it if you get that number 2 behind Cole back. So the last thing that I want to talk about before we wrap up here is Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. Now, believe me not, you guys have known me likely for a while and have seen me defend Aaron Boone his first year like there's no tomorrow. I used to tell people they got Aaron Boone's derangement syndrome. I have it.
Yep.
I have it. I have Aaron Boone. I think he's horrible. Now, if he's making the decisions, he's did a terrible job. I don't think he is. So when it comes to the front office, Cashman, Boone, me, they're gone. They would have been gone yesterday. Both of them are gone. If it was up to me, they both would have been gone yesterday, and I figure out what the new leadership of this club is going to look like. So I want to go around the room one more time. That's how we're going to wrap this call up. And if you guys want to throw anything else out there for the group, go ahead and do that. Ruben, what do you think about leadership? Aaron Boone, Brian Cashman, what do you think?
I think they're going to keep him the same for one more year. But, in hindsight now, but at that time, I thought they should have kept Girardi because I thought he did a heck of a job.
Yep.
Because he basically put pressure on Sanchez, did the right moves with the bullpen. He did the job. He did what he was supposed to do.
Did anybody love Tony Pena like I do?
Yeah.
Pena was good too.
Yeah.
Gotta love Tony Pena.
Another guy that I
for
think that
sure.
is underrated that I think the Yankees should give a second try to because we've had him before, and he's in Yes Network now. Buck Showalter.
Yep.
A lot of people like the idea of Buck coming back to the Yankees. A lot of people do. You're not the only one. I saw that a lot.
He's smart.
Christian, let's go.
Yeah, man. Boone, for me, he should be gone. I don't like him. I think he's soft, to be honest with you. He's too soft to manage. I like Girardi a lot. He made mistakes as anybody. But I still like him a lot. I need somebody strong, with a strong hand, with who doesn't let Cashman tell him to do his job.
Jose Guillen. Imagine that.
Yeah, man.
I'm just joking, but that would be classic.
Yeah, that would be crazy. But they need somebody strong who tells Cashman, you know what? I'm gonna do my job. If I do it wrong, you throw me out. But I'm gonna do my job. Let me do my job, and we'll see what happens. That's the kind of manager I need. Somebody who does rely in analytics, but does look like the game, the flow of the game, how it's going. I mean, go with the hot hand instead of going with the matchups. You know what I mean? It can always be analytics because it's so wrong.
Yep, I agree.
Hey, real quick, Pete. I wanted to throw this out for a quick second. So how you mentioned about Boone?
Yeah.
My thing with Boone is, okay, fine. He doesn't make decisions. But, dude, you couldn't tell happen game 2 that he was going to come in the second inning?
Yeah.
That was an upstairs decision.
That whole thing was bad.
He doesn't communicate, man.
That whole thing was bad. I know you guys probably heard it on the podcast when I talked about it. That whole thing was bad. I mean, there's so many different ways you can look at that and say, where in the hell? I mean, it's funny because my idea of that is, if I was the Rays and you got a young kid on the mound, he gave a home run at first. His fastball was off command, but the breaking pitches he looked good. He looked sharp with the breaking pitches. But then you say, they got Jay Happ warming up. He's
Holy
three
shit,
pitches.
we are now scared.
3 pitches into the game. You see J Happ, you say, oh, the Yankees surrendered the game. The series is done. They're going to bring J Happ in this game. I'm not concerned. We got lefties, but nobody cares.
What the fuck?
Aaron Boone thought he was bringing a young Randy Johnson in. He was bringing J Happ. It's a joke. Justin, go ahead.
Pete, cash in the analytical geeks that never picked up a ball or a bat in their life. And after game 2, I wanted to throw 90 to each one of their freaking heads. But I wasn't actually going to do that.
So violent.
But how do you – the Rays were like – this is Kevin Cash in the bullpen, just looking at that bullpen like, what the fuck they have this old-ass dude in the bullpen for? Like, you have a dude that we have not faced, and we're trying to figure out what the fuck his arm angle is, but you're having batting practice in the bullpen. Batting practice being J Happ. It's like Kevin Cash is probably sitting there like, motherfucker, bring him in yesterday. Like, this dude sucks. This dude's garbage. Like, bring him in, please.
Right, so would you bring
My
back...
God needs that bullpen.
Would you bring back Cash or Boone?
Let's be honest, Boone's not going anywhere. The front office loves him. They follow everything in footstep. Even in game 2, let me take this dick up my ass just to lose game 2 and throw the whole series away because, oh, yes, Cash, let me be your yes man and have no fucking balls to say no. Let me do my fucking job, asshole, and get me my game. Let me get my kid some fucking innings in the postseason. Yeah, no, let's go with the fucking retirement home in J Happ and give the Rays, who struggled in game 1, you had them struggling in game 1, and then go with Happ in game 2. Yes, Cash, that's a great idea. Let me have those balls and say yes. That's why they'll bring back Boone. But I'm like, can we have Boone be his own manager for once in his career? Like, after the 3 years he's been here, he's been yes. Like, he should just have a yes button because he says nothing fucking else. In that front office, you should just carry a fucking yes button.
Justin is very fired up when it comes to.
There you go, Pete.
I'm gonna get banned. I'm gonna get banned from here now. And all these F-bombs he dropped in here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Where's the beep button? Beep beep.
I know that's what I need. I need next time I'll have one of the little beep buttons in here. Andrew, go ahead.
I think Hal needs to play the crazy girlfriend and give Cash an ultimatum and say, you ditch this, play everything by the books, let books make decisions, and let a game manager get in there, or you're done. Because as brilliant as Cash can be, these stupid moves cost games, and they cost big games, and dudes win ball games, and you need to let the guys play. And if he's not willing to do that, then he's not the guy, and we're not going to be successful.
I couldn't.
Now,
I
whether
couldn't
Hal
agree
has
with that.
whether Hal has the balls to do that is a different story. But Boone is lockstep with Cash, in my opinion. It's, he got hired because he would do whatever Cash wanted.
100%. Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, I hate analytics. I talk a lot of shit about analytics, and if I was running things, I would want as much information as possible. Like I would get all these nerd stats and I would give them to my manager and I would say, listen, here, like these are what the numbers say. This is what everything is, but use them how you want them. Like I'm not going to tell my manager what to do. Like that's why I hired him. I think when we watched the playoffs, like we saw what like Choi did against Cole, and we couldn't get our Rosarina out, and it's like I don't care what the numbers say on the season. These guys are scorching hot right now. Like if anyone who's played knows that, like it doesn't matter what their batting average is against Lifetime against this person. Right now, that guy is in the zone. I'm not pitching to him. Like it doesn't matter. I can't stand when they just totally like they treat these numbers as like the Bible, and they won't go away from them no matter what. So a guy like Buck Showalter, like. He's forgot more about baseball than I'll never know in my life. Like any Yankees fan who's like listened to the post games and like you hear like you see what he sees, and it's just it's shit you never would think about. And yeah, I would love to have a guy like that, but he would never take the job because, he's not going to let some nerd tell him what lineup to put out,
Yep.
But unfortunately, I think that's more of like an organizational philosophy, and that's not going to change unless, it comes from the top.
Right. I agree. Sal, what do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately, this is the way baseball has been, is going all 30 teams are the analytic way. The front office runs everything. I never wanted Aaron Boone. I wanted Girardi to stick around. And honestly, my whole idea is I think Cashman's been around too long. But the thing is, he's also one of the top executives in the game. If you're going to let Cashman go, you can't just bring in anybody. You got to make sure you're getting rid of Cashman for the right reason. You can't bring in a Dave Dombrowski or, a Chaim Bloom or, you want somebody that knows what they're doing in there. And with Aaron Boone, I don't love the guy. I don't think he's great, but I mean, you do got to give him some due for even last season where he was handed a Ferrari and, all his players got hurt and somehow he still managed to win over 103 games. He's not great, but somehow he got the team to play last year. It's just that he makes bonehead decisions at times, and he doesn't have the balls to say no to the front office. But unfortunately, this is the game now. Girardi didn't want to deal with it. That's why they let him go. And I don't know who's going to take the job and deal with that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And one of the things somebody just said this in the comments, and I agree. At what point? And we know Cashman has been there for a long time, but at what point do you say you kind of just sit back and look and say, we haven't won. we just haven't won. This philosophy has not won.
Right.
Now, however you want it, the last World Series was 2009 and 2000. I mean, they really haven't won with type of talent on this club. And the one thing I always bring up that I want people to remember is they're expected to win with this current window of the young guys. That window's closing.
Right.
That window's closing. It's getting smaller. It's like you have the window wide open. All right, we got time. Now it's slowly sinking, and it's getting closer to being completely closed. That a new core is going to have to come along. Baseball's a crazy game because it goes very, very quick.
The one thing I'll say about Cashman is he always keeps us in the position to stay competitive. He has that young nucleus in the minor leagues, whereas you look at the Red Sox, they went all in for 18. And now look at them. They have nobody. So that's why I say if you're going to let him go, you got to make sure you bring somebody on board that, knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to bring somebody on board that says, your Clark is going to be dealt.
Right.
All these good young guys they got. And they got a lot of them. They got Luis Gil. Just off the top of my head, they got a whole lot of young guys that are going to be really good. The one thing I heard about Austin Wells recently is that he's even more advanced as a defensive catcher than the Yankees originally thought. Their scouts have said recently they feel he's actually well more advanced as a catcher. There was rumors to move him to first base, but they feel they'll leave him at catcher. Nick, go ahead and you can jump in now.
Yeah, no. I think Boone does need to go, but I forgot who said when last year when basically like a lot of players were injured, he got us to win over 100 games, but I wasn't a fan of the Boone hiring. I thought Girardi was better, but yeah, Cashman's gonna get a guy that is gonna say yes to him, and that's just how it is. I just wanted to go back to our other discussion real quick, if you don't mind, just quickly with our shortstop. Do we bring Didi back in a trade, possibly?
I wouldn't.
No,
he's a free agent.
He's a
free agent, but I wouldn't go anywhere near
back.
Didi.
Okay.
No, I need a younger guy.
Yeah, and one other thing about the pitching, I feel like now, especially nowadays, there should be like almost no reason why you can't get a guy that throws 95 plus on a cheap deal. Considering there's also 17-year-olds that are throwing 95 plus nowadays, you know what I mean? So it's like everyone is throwing that hard. So I feel like, the Yankees, there's no excuse there why you can't get guys like that. And if we can, especially on cheap deals, we can, I guess, make a championship run.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Mike, what do you think?
The Boone situation, I feel nothing. I have no idea how much of it's on him. I have no idea what calls are his. I have no idea what aren't his. On the Cash front, I think I'm in the minority. I still love Cash. I just wish he would outsource his pitching responsibilities because that's just not his gift. Like he's finding guys like Luke Voigt, and he's using for that position players. We have that down. He needs to find somebody who knows how to find pitchers because he's not good at that at all.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with that. My whole thing with Cashman is, I like I said it early on, he did find a lot of good young players. Look at the lineup. Look at the lineup, and then you look at your Voights. You look even your Talkmans. These are guys that a lot of teams gave up on.
Urshela.
Gio Urshela. I mean, there's a lot of guys that he was able to get, but pitching, you're right. It's not his strong point at all. It's not his strong point. And really, that's the other thing. How many damn starting pitchers did the Yankees miss out on? How many?
Verlander.
I mean, the list is huge.
Scherzer.
Charlie Morton. We chose half of a Morton.
We could have gotten Morton, exactly.
Cliff
Lee back in the day when they wouldn't give up Eduardo Nunez.
That one hurt, bro. That one hurt. Cliff Lee.
Yeah,
Cliff Lee would have got us at least 2 more rings. Like that was terrible.
It would have been right there. So
that was the luck for us to go back to back with Cliff Lee.
Yep, definitely.
Even let Johan Santana go to the Mets.
There you go.
I want to trade Ian Kennedy, Phil Hughes, or Jabba at the time.
Look at what Ian Kennedy and Hughes came out to be. That's what sucks about it too.
Exactly.
Yep. If we say all the people he missed out on, we'd be here for about 24 hours.
I get another Ajita attack, and I don't even
Randy Johnson before 2002.
The Randy Johnson thing is now that it's over,
when he was so old.
Now that it's over, it's funny to even think about.
What the fuck?
He beat the Red Sox though.
He did. And people forget. Hey, look, he won 17 games back-to-back years.
Yeah, he was solid.
He still did that. But who did not go?
Galaxy 10.
Galaxy 10.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah. So I hate analytics. I've played baseball my whole life, so I'm not a big fan of it. I get it. I just like the coach that act from the gut. He's got the hot hand. He's got the hot bat. And that debacle the other day with Hap, I mean, I was embarrassed to be a Yankee fan watching that game. I mean, I don't know what the hell the thought process was, but you put J Hap in a game, we're losing. I mean,
well, it's funny. It's funny. I don't mean to cut you off, but I remember when it happened, and I saw so many people on Twitter like, "Oh, this is a great move," and my only response was, "I don't think this is gonna work." And I was like, "This didn't take a damn genius." I mean, I'm sitting home. Who the hell thought that? Who thought this was a good idea? That I get so animated talking about it because I'm like, if I'm the Rays, I was like, damn, they threw the white flag and it's over. Yeah. They gave up.
It's like, white flag in the second inning.
Jumping up and down for it.
I mean, it's crazy. But Jimmy, go ahead.
All right, so GM-wise, I mean, Cash is good at what he does. He needs to stay the hell out of the clubhouse. He finds the right guys to put in our lineup, but starting pitching for years has been shit. Like, yeah, we got Cole. Okay, great, but it always seems to be our hole every damn year. But if he would just stay out and just make his deals, and he does good by filling in the holes in the lineup, I feel that. But Boone, we all got to remember, man, he's never coached before. I think he's going to continue to get better, but I think you have to bring in maybe an older manager, maybe come in through the offseason, maybe work with him. I mean, unless he's not making any moves himself. If he's really not making any moves himself, put a fucking robot in there. I mean, it's stupid. You know what I mean? But I know Boone's competitive, so that's why I don't think it's totally that way. I think he's still immature in the job per se. But I think maybe if you had Buck come in, he works for Yes Network right now. He's so related. Have him come in the offseason, but Aaron, these are some things I could see that you're not doing right. You're not doing well. You need to work on something like that. I don't know. I mean, there's not much else out there, man. We're going to bring in an old Dusty Baker or something like that. I mean, Buck won't work for the Yankees again. I know that as a man.
It's funny because I'll go back to what excuse me, what Sal said a little earlier. when Girardi made the bad call and in the postseason without the not reviewing the Lindor strikeout, which was eventually
No, it was Lonnie Chisenhall hit.
Who was it?
No, it was Lonnie Chisenhall when he got hit in the hand, and the umpire said it hit his
That's
knob.
right.
with
You're
the
right.
bat.
That's right. It was Lonnie Chisenhall. Then Lindor was the next guy up to hit the homer. For me though, that was so bad in the moment that I remember even tweeting. I was like, "Yeah, Girardi's gone. That's it. I don't care what happens after that." According to everything I've been told and have read, that's not the main reason why he was gone. That actually didn't have much to do with it at all. So if you look at the club right now, I think Joe Girardi would be perfect for this club. And it sucks saying that now, but he probably would have been because this team, you can tell, they need more pitching, yes, but they need management. I feel this team is too relaxed.
Yep.
It just seems like they're too okay with losing, or they're too okay with errors being made. A shortstop who's bobbling every damn ball, nothing happens. Gary Sanchez basically crawling to first base on ground balls. Everybody's okay with it. There doesn't seem like there's somebody in that clubhouse that kind of said, "Hey, what are we doing? Let's go. Sit down." That's it. They don't seem like they have that bulldog in that clubhouse that is kind of putting a little bit of
The
fear.
big bad
You're not as
Yankees.
protective.
That were Bulldogs turned into a Chihuahua.
But Voigt's becoming our Paul O'Neill.
Go ahead, Sal.
I'm saying Voigt's becoming our Paul O'Neill. He is the warrior. He's the only guy that seems to give a damn right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Sanchez, every at bat he went up there, just flailed at every pitch. Three pitches and he was done every single at bat.
The bases loaded at bat was one of the worst at bats I've seen in my life.
Right.
You can't go down on 3 strikes.
There was, if you guys remember, back in the day, I forgot what game it was against the Red Sox, but this is when Manny was going through all the crazy stuff in Boston. He came up in the 9th inning against Rivera, and he didn't give a shit. He just did like little tiny check swings, and he struck out on 3 pitches. Yeah. When Sanchez was up there, I said, "My God, this guy can have the club that the Flintstones guy used, and he wouldn't hit nothing." He could have a bat 5 times the size, and this guy's not even fouling the ball off. He was missing by 5 feet.
Sanchez would be a much better player right now if we had Girardi.
100%. And Tony Pena. You could tell Tony Pena was on his ass. He had guys that were on his ass that cared about him. And it's like right now, they're just like, "All right, man, give us what you can."
And we should have kept with Kevin Long, to be honest.
Well, he's gone now, so he's available. So we'll see if that's some sort of...
Yeah, he's available.
But even on the Kevin Long, they were still home run or nothing.
The philosophy's been the same.
He's got to change totally.
Yeah. The philosophy does have to change.
I think that's more organization-wise. Wouldn't it be then?
Well, you want to hear something else? And you guys know this, but think about this for a second. If it was up to Brian Cashman, DJ LeMahieu would not be a Yankee.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is philosophy.
Right.
He was not part of what they were looking for.
Right.
And who was it again that said Jim Hendry? Jim Hendry was the guy.
Yeah, I think it was Hendry.
He said, "Go get this guy because he could play everywhere and he's perfect for your team." And it was right. So if Brian Cashman's philosophy was not a guy like LeMahieu proved that your philosophy's wrong. And you got to change that. And that's what they have to do. Another guy, too, that I talked about last year that could make a bit of sense, but I don't know where the room for him is. He had a down year this year. But on Pittsburgh, Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier is another guy who puts the ball in play a ton. Plays everywhere, but really puts the ball in play. I think with some protection in the lineup, he'll be a much, much better hitter than he even is right now.
Can Frazier play short or only second?
I don't think he plays short. I know he plays the outfield, plays the corner outfield, plays second base, has some shortstop experience also, but mainly second base and the corner outfield spots. But could move around third also. Oh, we'll see. Justin wanted Nikki Lopez, so I'm not even going to go to him. Anyway.
Dang. Okay. Well.
All right, guys. Well, anyway, this was fun. I think we'll do it again at some point. I know the off season's very early, but again, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it, and talk to you guys again soon.
Thank you. Later.
Thank you.